Thanks for joining us for this interview session. I am Inbi. I am the producer and director on this film, Madina Papel, and I have Samat Amanhuri joining me.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us again to hear more about Madina Papel team. And my name is Sama, and I am the co-founder on the movie.
Awesome. Let's just get right into it. So, Yoga and Riski, please briefly introduce yourselves to us, to our audience, sort of describe who you are, where you live, or projects you worked on that you would like to share with us.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Rizky Wijaya. I live on Indonesia. I'm 2D animator. Before I start this project, I usually do traditional animation, but this is a unique one. The Madina Papel, there is a rig, and before I do a lot the series and the movie, and you can see on YouTube like episode 3, the movie, and for series I do some like mirrored animation. Mirrored. There is rigging style for the animation.
And for me, my name is Yoga. I'm from Indonesia. Before I work for Madina Papel, I work, also same with Rizky. I work on Pringles Belza, I work on Rabisuke, on traditional animation, and I work on the Russian animation, School Pirates, and Peter and the Wolf. Yeah, that's it.
So for both of you, what made you want to become an animator or artist? What sparked in you to make that decision?
I think in the past back then, when I was 7 years old, the kids love the animation show on TV and like Naruto and SpongeBob SquarePants, and from that I love the animation. And accidentally, I got to vocational high school and that have animation major, and then I got internship on Malaysia, and after that I graduate from high school. I starting working to different company for 3 years, and for the end right now I was just working at home and do college with a freelance project. My friends, majority, all of them love Disney, love anime. But for me, I love the French animation, and French animation is have a unique taste, like color and the story. Yeah, that's become a good center for my animation, I think.
Me, I'm not dreaming to be artist. Pas ketika aku high school, ketika aku pas SMK itu karena ada jurusan animasi, jadi aku masuk ke jurusan itu dan ya sampai sekarang jadilah seperti ini. Aku jadi artis, jadi animator.
How did you find out about Madina Papel, and how did you feel when you started the project?
I found Madina Papel because yoga found and at LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn, and I start to feel interested when every week we had communication and there is no miscommunication for production and the good pipeline for the animation, and that's kind of unique story, I think. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think the way I reached out to you guys was through a friend of mine. She knew a lot of animation community in Trinidad, actually, and she had a Facebook page. So I remember posting on that page, and then Yoga reached out to me, and so. But yeah, it's always interesting that this industry seems really big, but at the same time very small. Everyone is connected in some ways. I never thought I would work with someone in Indonesia, but here we are. So then, after learning about the story of the film, do you think you can relate to the story of our main character, Gufran, of what he goes through? Is there any similar experience you had growing up, or any thoughts on the character? What are some of the things that you relate to?
I'm sorry before to say this because the first time I see the story, I read story, I think the story is about homosexual. I think because the character is full color, and the rainbow is iconic to for that. Yeah, and after that, when I know the story, I know the animatic, and I know for the storyboard, and I know the full version, then I think it's very related right now to on the people live right now. For internationally, that story is can be affected to people, but in my country is it's too hard to understand. There is uh, more metamorph on there, and
Kalau dilihat dari sudut pandang sosial di Indonesia, menurutku nggak begitu relate sih dari keadaan cerita Madina Papel ini dengan keadaan di Indonesia. Soalnya seperti kayak ketika aku melihat pas di story ini ada ketika sholat itu ketika orang-orang pergi berjalan menuju masjid dan itu kan dan itu gimana? Dan itu seperti kewajiban yang harus dipatuhi, dan menurutku itu kebanggaan.
I'm so glad that you talked about the religion or Islam part because I hope it shows that even though religion is controlling people, but it's more complicated than the religion. And I think for you as Muslim people who are living their life normally, to be part of Madina Papel, that what resonate and makes it more authentic, because Madina Papel is all about accepting who you are, no matter where are you from, what's your religion, if you agree or not. We just want to be together, we want to enjoy our company, and we want to do something beautiful together. So that's very deep and meaningful for us to work together.
this sounds good.
For people who doesn't know how animation work or animation gets made, could you describe us your job as an animator? Like, what kind of tasks do you do every day? What kind of things are involved being an animator?
Yeah, for the first time for being animator is like for this era, YouTube is everywhere and you can learn anything from internet right now. And for usually to be a good animator, I think is wake up at morning and do some before I do some cut, before I do some scene, I always read the storyboard first, and then I give it to Yoga and Yoga to check because this project is the lead animator is Yoga, and after it approved or revised, he will give it back to me, and I will do to repair it and fix it until it's fixed, and give again to Yoga and approve or revise. The final is sent to the director, just like that. And I think it's not hard to be one day, one cut at least. So the director know the progress and the animator is productive every day. And yeah, there is no miscommunication. And I think it's good start to do something on each day.
What were some of your favorite shots to work on, or shots that were hard to? So like 2 questions in one, like the best shot that you worked on Madina Papel and the hardest and most difficult one.
Okay. You know, like in some cut, uh, they open the fathers open their heart. Then I have to thinking the awesome effect to edit, and I was excited to do it. I almost do 3 cut in one day because I was excited on part scene to the effect. You came on the effect. And then the hard one is, I think, uh, the first part, the first scene, they arrive at home. Yeah, there is a difficult part because uh, the perspective, because the rigging style animation, it's hard to be animated because it's not not maximum to uh, move it. I think it's memorable cut, I think.
For me, I think when Kufran meet the brother and the sister, he's very happy with they play together, play football together. Yeah, I like that scene.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite part of the movie as well. And I remember the shot where he comes in to the family house for the first time, and I know we struggled a lot with that shot because of the perspective. And since it's not like a 3D model and we're working with 2D character, it's really hard to get those legs when it especially is walking in perspective.
How has quarantine and the pandemic affected your work, daily life, just in general too?
For me, it's not really affected, you know. I think I live with a normal people life.
For me, I think yeah, also Riski is not affected. We work on the computer, always sit on the office. Yeah, I think it's not affected, but the social life is, I think, very affected in this country. Everything is very expensive now. Food is uh, expensive. Everything is expensive now.
The other people to buy too much, and then like we are like normal people to buy it, and we can buy because the stock is empty. It's like that.
Sort of like what we had with the toilet paper over here, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think with the current situation, it's more likely that a lot of people are going to move into working at home longer, um, or people who are used to going to the office, they might need to really consider finding a job that can be done at home. So as a freelancer or animators working at home, do you have any tips that you can share to those people who might need to work remotely for a long time?
Yeah. For me, I think the tips is before you became the freelancer, you have to work to different company, or you to work on just one company at least 1 year, because you must know the good pipeline and how to take responsibility, how to take the job, how to manage time, manage money, things, right?
I think trying to be professional and mutual trust. Kalau aku sih, ya, itu harus terus berkarya lah. Dari menurutku animasi itu adalah suatu tempat untuk menyampaikan pesan-pesan kita, untuk menyampaikan hasrat yang ada di dalam hati kita, dan animasi adalah ya salah satu cara untuk menyampaikan.
Yeah.
We agree too. As Umbi always says that Madina Papel company will support marginalized people. And the only outlet that we can tell these stories without getting in trouble or like and look very rude is animation. So
Yes,
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah.
very inspirational.
All right, I think that's all we had for this session. Thank you so much for both of you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.